Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 4, Yoga of Knowledge. What is selfless action? Which are the different forms of sacrifices or charitable activities that people need to carry out to make their life significant? And the glory of the Lord is also described in this chapter. Shlok 1. Lord Krishna said, I had imparted knowledge about this traditional yoga to the Sun Lord Surya. He had communicated the same to his son Vivasvan Manu, who in turn informed his son King Ikshvaku. Arjun said, Lord continues, Shlok 2. Paratampa Arjun, in this manner descending from the old traditions, this yoga became known to the kings and pandits. But after that, along the time, this yoga had gone into oblivion and vanished from this earth. You are my disciple and my devotee and my friend. Therefore, today I have explained the same yoga to you. The yoga is deep wisdom. This yoga is deep wisdom and a subject of rarity. To this, Arjun says, My Lord, you have just been born now, but Surya's birth dates ages ago, when the cosmos had just begun. In that case, how should I accept that you had explained this yoga to Surya? Arjun said, My Lord, you have just been born now, but Surya's birth dates to ages ago, when the cosmos had just begun at that time. In that case, how should I accept that you had explained this yoga to Surya? Sri Lord said, Paratampa Arjun, you and I both have many births earlier. You do not know about these, but I do know. Even though I am beyond the cycle of birth and death, even though I am the creator of all beings, I take form and appear in the world from time to time. Bharat, whenever religion suffers a setback and sins excel, I assume the form of a living being and come before mankind. I appear from time to time for the help and progress of the virtuous and deserving people, and also for the destruction of wicked and the sinners, and to safeguard the religion. Arjun, my birth and my deed, my birth and my deeds are divine and pure and transcendental. The person who understands and realizes this truth does not take birth after death. Instead, he assumes my form and becomes a part of me. In the past, many such persons whose desires and envies had been killed and who were always devout towards me and had full faith in me were purified with wisdom and attained my form. Arjun, whichever way my devotee worships me, I reciprocate accordingly, because, as I said earlier, all people follow the path laid down by me. In this world, people who are keen to secure the results of the deeds worship the lesser gods, family deity, etc. Because in this worship they are able to ensure achievement of their objectives easily. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. These four classes have been created by me according to gunas, attributes and duties. I hold no desire or longing for the result of my duty. Therefore, my duty does not cause any involvement. The person who gets to know me in the manner and remains unattached with his actions, in other words, his actions too do not get him involved. In the olden time, forefathers had also understood this reality and carried on with their objectives. Therefore, following their example, you should also carry out your duties. What classifies as action and what is inaction? That you listen to me. Even the enlightened people of wisdom are confused while determining the answer to this question. Therefore, I'll explain to you the basic nature of action, after understanding which you will be freed from attachment of action and impurity of mind. It is necessary to understand the features of action as well as those of inaction, because often the result of action has far-reaching effects. The person who can observe inaction in action and action in inaction is wise among people. And he who performs his duties well is a yogi, a man who is on the way of realizing God or realizing me. The person who can observe inaction in action and action in inaction is wise among people. And he who performs all the duties well is a yogi. The Lord continues to say, one who follows his duty according to the Shastras, scriptures, and whose actions do not and are not motivated by desire or cause in view, and whose actions are purified by the fire of wisdom, is called a Pandit. He is called Pandit even by great sages. The person who has no attachment to the deeds and to the results thereof is free from the worldly matters and is fully satisfied with his involvement in God. He may get involved in any kind of action, but his actions remain free from attachment. The person who has conquered his self, his senses, his body, and who has given up the objects of worldly pleasure, such a person without dependence on hopes of any kind can carry out his normal duties and perform his work with the help of his body and yet remain free from sins of any kind. He accepts whatever he receives with satisfaction because he does not desire nor goes after the worldly pleasures. He accepts whatever is received with satisfaction because he does not desire or goes off after worldly desires. The person who has freed himself of envy and jealousy and who transcends the effects of pleasure and pain remains calm and composed in success or in failure. Such a person remains free from attachment even when involved any kind of work. The person who has killed all kinds of attachment and is free from afflictions of affections, who has conquered in his personal self his ego, whose mind is always engaged in wisdom of God, for such a person whose actions are directed only towards betterment of humanity, all his actions get immersed into his efforts for the general goods. In the yajna, devotional service of God, where offerings become a form of godliness, where the materials used for divine offerings to fire achieved similar status, for such a saint, the results of his actions to carry the greatness of God. Some yogic practitioners, they perform yajna in the form of their worship to God. Some others find a fire of Havan no less than the form of Almighty Himself and carry out their Havan, realizing their own self, find the incomparable Almighty in the process. Others perform Havan in the form of controlling all their senses and sensory objects. The process of control itself becomes the sacred fire. Others practice control in the words that they speak. Again, this process is also a kind of Havan. There are also others who are able to control all actions with their senses and are enlightened by the sacred wisdom. They perform Havan through all actions of mind and self-control. Many people carry out yajna with material objects. There are others who perform yajna in the form of deep meditation. There are still others who perform yajna by virtue of carrying out their own duties in a selfless manner. And still others who follow the principles of ahimsa, non-violence. And there are still more who keep fasts and perform yajna in the form of self-study. There are many others who perform yajna, devotional service for the good cause, through pranayams, the process of restraining breath, interacting with Apan Vayu, and there are others who reverse this process. Some others continuously control intake of food and are able to hold the movement of prana through pranayam. All these sadhaks, devotees, perform through their yoga skill their own sins and thus are known for the knowledge about yajna. All these sadhaks, devotees, performers, through their yajna kill their own sins and thus are known for their knowledge about yajna. Kurukshetra, Arjun, those who experience nectar remains of yajna realize and merge with the omnipresent, immortal Almighty. And people who do not engage themselves in any form of yajna cannot be happy, even in this world. And if so, how can they achieve peace and happiness after death? This and many other types of yajnas are described in detail in the Vedas scriptures. You must consider these yajnas worthy of performance through mind, senses, and the body. Once you understand the core subject of yajna, and practice these to the best of your ability, you will achieve freedom from all effects, ill effects of your actions, or will rise above the petty pleasures of your actions. Arjuna, as compared to yajna performed with material objects, the one which is carried out with wisdom is far superior. Besides, all kinds of duties end with the achievements of wisdom. You should learn this wisdom from those who have acquired it through their continuous efforts. You must humbly greet them and serve them with devotion. Ask them politely the questions that arise in your mind without disrespect. Those knowledgeable sages who have realized the Almighty will give you suitable advice. Once you understand their advice, you will no longer get into the fits of attachment and emotions, and will first see yourself in the proper perspective and then realize me, the Almighty. Even if you are a sinner of sinners, you, with the help of the boat incarnated by wisdom, will cross over the sea of sins. All your sins will die out. Because Arjun, just as the raging fire burns the entire fuel, the fire of wisdom burns away all ill actions and effects thereof. Automatically, he who continues to practice Karam Yoga, action in a devotional service, for a long time, that is, carries on performing his duties without expectation or desire or attachment. The one who conquers his own self and has a quest for knowledge and is a devoted human being achieves wisdom. Thereafter, he achieves peace in the shape of realization of God sooner than later. And the person who is full of suspicion, lacks devotion and discretion, destroys himself without a doubt. There is no place for such a person in this world or the next. Besides, he can never be happy. Dhananjay, the person who has dedicated all his actions to the Almighty through the procedures of yajna, action in devotional service, and destroyed all his suspicions, none of his actions can cause ill effects to his self-controlled soul. Therefore, Arjun, you must kill suspicion of your mind that is born out of ignorance, and with the sword of wisdom, get settled with the performance of your duty and get ready for the battle.